Right, let's try a different angle. I'm going to name my qualifications because anybody who starts an argument telling you their qualifications, e.g., I am a weather scientist for 17 fucking years, I know what I'm talking about. Usually if you have to prove yourself before starting an argument means you're already on the wrong foot. So, that doesn't change much with me, does it? Right. I have been riding motorcycles, two in total, at a couple of demos, for about 3.5 years. Does that make me qualified to speak to you? Maybe, maybe not. 3.5 years of what, though? Weekend warrior riding, a bit of track, a bit of off-road. So, jack of all trades, but really just an idiot on the road. Forget the master of none. And today, I'd like to breach the topic because I've seen so many YouTube videos on this is tips for beginner riders. How to do this. How not to kill yourself. 5 bad habits of riders. Yeah, okay, it applies to some, but let's go back further, okay? Before we even start on the motorcycle, before we talk safety gear, before we start talking riding tips, I want to go one step before. And that starts right here. You suddenly feel the urge to ride a motorcycle, be it due to peer pressure, if you have any friends for that matter. You read magazines on it. It's on your bucket list. You just need something. Maybe you've got the quarter life or the midlife crisis and you want something. You know, that red Ducati 993 or 11 looks sexy and you want it and you want people to see and adore you and to say, wow, he rides a motorcycle. Let me just take off my bra and jump him right here. Don't kid yourself, that never happens. And if it does happen, you do not want that thing coming at you. So let's start. So, we've decided we want to ride a motorcycle. Oh, easy enough. Let's go to the dealership. Wow, that Yamaha R1 looks fucking fantastic. Give me that. Here's my credit card. Yeah, I need a helmet. What's the cheapest one, seeing I have no more cash left after purchasing the vehicle? Yeah, that one. What is Snell DOT? Whatever, it looks good. Give me the one which says 46 with all the funky graphics. Yeah! And off you go. Yeah. You think I'm joking? I knew a rider, 22-year-old. First bike, BMW 1200 GS Adventure. Came around the corner. Within 30 meters, he twisted the throttle, lifted the front wheel, lost control, and he left his mark. The mark is still visible today in Kew, Alexandria. Big cross against the tree. He didn't survive. And that's what I'm trying to help you understand with this little video of mine. Motorcycling is a great way to pass the time. It's a great commuting way of to commute, okay? It's a hobby. It's something that will give you an adrenaline kick. It'll make you feel good. It'll reset your mind. But only if done properly. I see it so many times, youngsters trying to prove themselves on a liter bike or even half a liter, 600cc. When you stop and you say, hey, nice bike, have you taken any training courses? They look at you and say, yeah, I've done my learners. At which point you already know they're not long for this world. Learner's license means fuck all. At least in the car you've got your father or somebody responsible next to you to shout and scream and, bash the floor plate out in the effort to stop you. The old joke was always, how could you know that a learner was coming around the corner? Because of the bass, the subwoofer. Subwoofer being his parent, mother, or father doing this to the floorboard every time. trying to stop the car willingly, one way or the other. But I digress. So, you want a bike? One step back. Let me ask you this. How do you know you're going to enjoy this? Stupid question, right? You set your mind on it, you must enjoy it. Bullshit. Before I started this, because of peer pressure, I went to a training school where they gave you a little 125cc and a big open parking lot. And that was the introduction to motorcycling. Why did I do it? Because I wasn't sure that this was for me. I wasn't going to invest myself in a machine and protective gear just so after riding once, twice, I said, fuck it, it's not for me. That is the first step. That is the best advice anyone can give you. Fuck what is your first bike. Fuck all the rest. Do that first. Figure out if riding a machine like this is for you. Okay? That's point one. Now, let's say you have decided it's for you. It was an adrenaline rush. You wanted more. Okay, what's the next step? Your license. Now, South Africa, we're really easy here. You go write your license. I wrote mine when it was still using the paper books where the answers were already penciled in. So, no, I did not cheat. Fuck off. No, I did it properly, okay? So, you got your learner's license. You're past your driver's license, hopefully. But it doesn't end there, gentlemen. When you've got your learner's license and you got yourself a bike, go for another training course. And especially if you don't ride the bike every day, you do it maybe on Saturday, Sunday, maybe you go down to the shops. You don't ride a lot of kilometers at that point. You do not have the flesh and blood or the muscle memory yet to control this thing. Counter steering, what the fuck is that? Using the rear brake instead of just hauling ass on the front? Never thought of that. The point is, if it were legal, anybody who tries to ride first, I'd strap a mattress to them. Yeah, a mattress. I would put a mattress there, line the highway with them, because when you first ride a motorcycle, you have got bugger all experience. You don't have clutch control yet. Well, think of when you first started driving a car. Clutch control. Look in the rearview mirror. Check your blind spots. All of this is heightened, sharp learning curve with a motorcycle because you are invisible in traffic. You have to think for other people. That is something you have to deal with on a constant basis. So, training, highly important. And while I'm on the topic of peer pressure, as a beginner, as a learner, I do not recommend riding with your friends. They already have a lot of experience, and chances are, if they're the same age group, they will try to outrace you, they will make you want to catch up and ride beyond your limits at that point. Rather, if you've got the option, ride by yourself. Find a parking lot, practice the hell out of it until your hand cramps from the clutch. Rather do that. Chances are, if you've got a friend who's already ridden a motorcycle and he's going to teach you bad habits, which you then have to unlearn. Or, worst case scenario, he rides with you, doesn't even check in the rearview mirror that you're still behind him, he leaves you in the dirt, and as a beginner rider, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You may not know the area. You get stressed, you sweat profusely, you start making mistakes. And at which point, chances are you're going to drop the bike, maybe create a hazard of yourself in traffic. No good comes of that, ladies and gentlemen. Get somebody who's patient, who's understands you, who's willing, when you're there to drop the bike, he will pick it up with you. He will be patient with you. He will drive slowly. Best thing is the guy should ride behind you in traffic, because if you need to turn, maybe because it's still so new in your mind, gear down, clutch, brake, shit, I forgot the indicator. Your friend behind you will basically be the cock blocker. already stop the cars behind you, clear the lane, and allow you to do the turn. That is the best thing he can do for you, to make sure that cars keep your distance. Because I've never seen a learner rider with a big L on the back. Never. Now, I'm not saying all your friends are idiots or fellow riders don't give a crap. It's just something, I see it personally. If you rode with a group, I mean, I had an old KLR 650. That thing's top speed was maybe 120 kilometers an hour, versus my friends who had liter bikes and fasters, and they left you in the dirt, left you behind. And it's a shit feeling. You want to be with that group. You want to be with your friends. So what do? You twist the throttle to extinction. You overextend yourself. You're not paying attention. You are just focusing on their rear wheel, trying to get there. And that is really setting you up for a quick and untimely death or an accident, which again is going to discourage you. Sometimes all it takes is an accident or a bad experience for you to lose hope in your passion, to say, I made a mistake, this isn't for me. And look, if you liked riding a motorcycle in the first training session, don't be discouraged. Everybody makes mistakes. If you want to feel better, let me tell you my mistakes. KLR 650, first day I got it. Dropped on the floor. I fell off her, first time off-road. Yeah, you just need to go through my channel, just look for falling experience. Some of it is documented. I mean, even a year after having the bike, I still fucking dropped her. I mean, when I got this little beauty, first day I got her and I tried to maneuver her and I wasn't used to the weight. I promptly dropped her on the side, cracked the mirror. This stupidity is normal, okay? Don't be discouraged. Everybody has to start somewhere. Es ist noch kein Meister vom Himmel gefallen. No master has ever fallen from heaven. Some were born, obviously, about 2018 years ago, but that's for dinosaurs for distribution. I'm talking shit at this moment. Let's continue. And the final section, or the final question I'll pose to you before finishing this useless rant. What do you want to do? And I'm talking specifically here, do you want road riding? Or do you want dirt? MX, enduro, road, commuting, racing on the track, or general tomfoolery? Unfortunately, MX and enduros, it's a bit more difficult to get practice bikes and to see if you like them. For example, I was considering enduro, but there was nowhere I could test it without maybe finding someone to lend me his bike. And, well, if you're a beginner, nobody wants to give you his bike, let's put it that way. So, there's the dirt section and the road section. Let's talk about that. If you're commuting, okay, you don't need a very powerful machine. Something comfortable, sitting upright. Completely kettle of fish, your safety gear is also then important. If you're going track, are you traveling to the track and then riding? Or do you want to get a trailer and a track-only bike? Again, it depends. Look, motorcycling in traffic is interesting, to say the least. It is hellishly dangerous, especially if drivers are not paying attention. If they're playing Pokemon or texting, sexting, doing their makeup, fondling with the vibrator, you are invisible to them. And a motorcycle getting hit by even a beat-up old car at 60 can be fatal. Bear that in mind. The whole motorcycling is dangerous is not a rumor. This is confirmed. You only need to type in motorcycle crashes on YouTube and... yeah. So, track bike, great. If that's what you need to go, it's a great way to learn how to corner. It's exhilarating, but also expensive. And the track's not always available. And tracks are, like I said, expensive. You have to book time. And then, of course, you've got the tomfoolery part. Weekend warrior, get a bike, just go out, clear your mind. Similar to commuting, but the chances that you're going to hit very bad traffic, not so much. So, figure that out. And then, let's go to the next video.